All right, hello. Today is April 22nd, 2025. It's around 6:30 p.m. I finished work and I'm busy with the errand right now. And so just sitting and waiting, finishing up what I'm doing. I decided to do a quick movie review on the Wolfman, the 2025, I believe it is. Yeah, because I think it was released earlier this year or last year. So whichever, last year or this year. I love werewolves and vampires. Um, so I was actually really excited to want to watch this movie, but then I started seeing the movie trailer showing a little too much information. And one thing I absolutely love are werewolf transformations. So for me, I was like, found out that they shown the transformation right before they released the movie. And somehow it popped up in my YouTube suggestions. And immediately when I seen that, I was upset. So I was like, absolutely not. I'm not watching the movie. So I did not. I was like, I'm not paying my money towards this movie. I'm not paying no movie theater ticket for it because that was ridiculous. For them to do that, because that was the way the movie trailer was. It was a little like, but because they didn't show much at first, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna definitely watch this. Because I love werewolves. I was excited, but then like just more and more, I don't know what these companies are doing, but y'all need to stop showing all the details because you lost my money. Because I've officially seen this movie last night through one of the streaming apps that I pay for. So it obviously, I've been paying for it for about a year now, and yeah, no, briefly, I'm gonna just say I give this movie out of 10 stars 4 stars. I don't know who wrote this movie, Wolfman, but you all don't know what you are doing with storylines, because obviously with werewolves you need to have it kind of like developed, so you want the transformation to be, like the thing, like people are like, whoa, all of that built up to that, and then let's see what happens next. Like, is the werewolf gonna look, like a beast and just go like wild, or is the werewolf going to, be more human like but still in a certain beast forms, whatever, how I've seen so many that, they could have went any route. But yeah, no, that movie, I don't know who wrote it, but you're horrible. And I've just got to say that, like, you're horrible at writing, because you literally, I think what you did is, which is one of my favorite movies since I was in my late teens when it was released, Ginger Snaps. So what I think you did is you watched Ginger Snaps, and then you wanted to make a film with a family man going through the same process. But Ginger Snaps, I believe, took about up to a month for Ginger to fully become a beast, and then stayed in that form. But you did a like disease, which you did only in like 6 hours. And I was like, you're rushing through so much stuff, and then it just didn't make sense. Like, you were literally placing things right in certain aspects so it could just flow, but it was rushed, and I was like, this makes no sense. I was like frustrated. I was like, thank goodness I didn't waste my money on this movie. Like, went into the movie theater, because I would have yelled out probably like, this sucks, and like walked out. And I would have walked out. But yeah, there was only one scene that captured my attention, and I don't even know if I really clearly remember. I think it was like when he was just starting to have his senses change, and then like it was him and his spouse, and we could hear from his perspective, um and then it shifted. So it was like, I think he kind of noticed his senses were getting a little more heightened, but it was something along that line, that moment, and it was how he said it. And I was like, oh, that was really good. That was the only thing. Because the rest of like the movie and the transformation, absolutely not. And also, you all did shock value for no reason. Like, especially with the transformation, that like breaking the jaw, what? And then when you look at the werewolf form, like when he was completely in his werewolf form, there was no look of like why he needed to break his jaw. Because I've seen transformations where for instance with American Werewolf in Paris, like her, that's CGI, but they did a transformation when her legs broke backward. And I still watch that today, even though the CGI is okay. But that, when I was about 12 or 13 when that was released in the movie theater. And I just remember how hyped up everybody was because CGI was still new. But now how CGI is, you'd think, okay, yeah, it's not that good. But they still did better, because when her legs broke backward and she changed into a werewolf, you understood why her legs broke backward. Whereas in this movie, Wolfman, the newest one, like, it was no reason, because his whole face was still the same. And I was like, so they literally just broke his jaw just to do it. Like, and then like his chest and everything, there was no biggerness to him. Like because for him to go through that transformation, I'm expecting him to be like more bigger, or something along that line, but he looked the same, like his human form. So I was just like, no. Also, the child actor or actress, I'm sorry, but you're irritating. I did not like it. I was like, wow, it was just too over the top with her. And for some reason, the way they had written her character, they made it almost like she was like a toddler or about like 5 years old in some scenes. And then all of a sudden, like, I'm thinking, but she's 11. So it was just like, to me, she was a spoiled brat too. And then I just didn't understand how the dad was thinking he was being harsh to his daughter at the beginning, when she shouldn't have been stepping on that thing anyway, because she could have fell into traffic and all that. But he's like, I'm so sorry I yelled at you. No, that little one, she's 11. She knows better. And so to me, it just came off she was like a spoiled brat. So for me, also the spouse, no. I'm a career-oriented person too, but the way her character was written, it was just ridiculous. Like, she walked into the scene, how we were introduced to her, not even acknowledge her family, and then gets upset at her husband for talking about don't be on the phone. I was like, no. And so, yeah, so this was just absolutely horrible. And then last thing, I'm going to give some suggestions. So if somebody wants to go on this kind of context of a disease for the werewolf in the future, don't do it like this movie. What I noticed with the movie, what would have actually got people's attention and would have been more of a surprise, is that you should have started it when the family was driving to the house. And in the moving van stuff, in the moving van. If you started it there and then have dialogue of the family being dysfunctional, and then showing how like the dad is, overprotective and just making sure he's not like hurting his little one's feelings, instead of showing the beginning with the dad, because it didn't really matter. I mean, I'm like, who cares? Like, they could have had a flashback or something on that. But I think if they started from that moment with the moving van, get into the storyline of the characters, them sitting in the truck and talking, and then we could see that dysfunction, that would have added to, hey, if they hit somebody, because let's say they get close to the house on their own, and then there's that the thing pops up and he crashes, that would have made more sense and then lead into what you all did with that, being at the house and then him developing. I would have thought that would have worked way better because you would have not known at all what was going on. And then don't give the beginning credit note either, because that just wasn't called for. Like, I don't, and like, I mean, great that you're talking about native, werewolf origins and stuff, but just based on what the context of this movie and the storyline, it's not like that added, like you all followed through with that, so it didn't matter to me. So yeah, I did not like this movie at all. I'm so happy I did not pay my movie theater ticket money for this. So yeah, so you get a thumbs down on that. Absolutely thumbs down. And I love werewolves and vampires. I will watch all kinds of those movies. So yeah. All right. Bye.